Hello to everyone on this Saturday, May 8th, and welcome to Imprints of the Journey and the Shadow Sessions. My name is Dorota Rakowska. I am the artist and the creative force behind Imprints of the Journey, and this is our Shadow Session number 14. Welcome to everyone. Just a reminder, if you're joining us, there are prizes to be won, so please say hello, say where you're joining us from. And to all of you who are new, who will be watching us maybe in replay, I am an accidental artist. I call myself that because I started painting about 6 years ago quite by accident. And the journey led me through many paintings and many art ideas to the publication of Shadow Samskara cards. And those cards were published in October last year. And they actually inspired the creation of those shadow sessions. So our chats, bi-weekly chats here on Facebook, the shadow sessions, were created for two reasons. Number one is the shadow self, and the talk about our darker side. Because after the creation of cards, I discovered how important it is to talk about it, how important it is to bring it into the light, to acknowledge that we all have a darker or a shadow side. And this is not anything to be afraid of. It's not bad. It's not ugly. It is just a part of us. And we need to acknowledge it, understand it, heal it, and integrate it. And that's why I decided in October last year to invite to those Facebook Live shadow sessions many people who through many modalities help us heal and help us also heal our shadow self. And I have talked to many wonderful people, and I have talked about healing through animals and their companionship, through music, through sound, through creative writing, through past lives regression, through yoga, Reiki, and many other modalities. And all my wonderful guests help us understand from their point of view what is the shadow healing, and also what needs to be done to integrate and look at our shadow and accept it. Second reason for the shadow sessions is also to get together, even in this limited way, because since the creation of the shadow session and the cards, which were created both during the pandemic, we cannot be with each other the way we used to, and we all miss it. And I was just talking to my guest today just before the session that it's been over a year and we all go a little crazy in our own ways, all getting a little cuckoo, because here in Ontario, we are in lockdown. So many places are closed. We are encouraged to stay home, and life is still very different for all of us. So even in this limited way here through shadow sessions, we can see each other. You can see interesting people, you can chat, you can contribute your point of view, you can exchange some ideas, and hopefully this is going to make our life easier as well. So I'm just going to say hello, John Lynn, Jackie, hello ladies, thank you for joining us. And before I bring my guest, as usual, I'm going to remind everybody that there is a prize to be won. And if you participate live during our Facebook session, if you write a comment and or a question, you will qualify to be entered in a draw for a free chakra/aura biofeedback balance, which is a remote balance done by our guest Rachel. So please write your comments, questions, share your opinions. Just one request. Emojis are wonderful and visual, and they are fun to look at, but if you want to be entered in the draw, please use words and emojis if you wish. So right now, my dear guests, or participants of this Facebook Live, I am going to bring my guest forward, and I'm just going to click on some buttons and welcome. Clicking in more buttons. Welcome, Rachel. Rachel, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? This is exciting.
It is very exciting, and it's a sunny day. We're both talking about how cold it is in Ontario still.
Yeah.
But least we have some sun. So
Exactly.
before we chat, Rachel, let me introduce you to our lovely audience. Rachel is an energy specialist. She works with quantum biofeedback, with Reiki, with color therapy, pulse electromagnetic fields, and she does all of those wonderful things from her home clinic that is called Let Health Flow. She is also adding animals to her practice. She is a mom of 2 boys and 2 furry cats. And a great human being. And I hope to have a wonderful conversation about what you do, Rachel. So welcome one more time to
Thank
Imprint.
you. Yes, very excited.
My first question to you is biofeedback. It's kind of a magical word that combines to me science and the energy work. How did you get involved in this? What was your beginning?
Oh, that is a great question. It was about 13 years ago. I was on my own health journey. I was having a lot of difficulty I was trying to get pregnant, and I kept having miscarriages over and over, and doctors weren't assisting. I couldn't quite find any help that I was looking for. And my husband came forward and said, there's this biofeedback, like, why don't you try it? It's my coworker's wife. And I thought, well, I'm always open. I've always been open to alternative therapy all my life. So I thought, okay, there's nothing to lose to try it. And it was very new to me. I wasn't as energetically open then as I am now. But it completely shifted everything for me. I have 2 beautiful boys now. I was able to get through all of that. And then I was a client on that machine for 9 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was so empowering and such an amazing experience every time. I had my whole family on it. I was on it all while I was pregnant, brought my babies in, and so the whole family. And then I decided I'd like one of these devices for myself and for my family. So I took the training for it, became a certified specialist in it, and decided I think I'd actually like to help others as well with this. So it kind of started with my own personal journey and then wanting to help myself and my family, and has extended out to a greater passion of wanting to help others. So I got the device and built a little home.
The rest is history. Great. What a good story. Now tell us, please, what is biofeedback? For those of us who are not quite sure, how does it work? What can it do for us, for an average person?
Well, so I'm working with a quantum biofeedback. It's a little more in depth. It's a very advanced energetic device. It stimulates clients to over 11,000 different frequency representations of things like fungus, mold, bacteria, vitamins, organs, everything you could possibly think of physically. But it also stimulates and measures reactions from your body to thousands of different forms of remedies for various different forms of stress. There's also reactivities that are shown for life affirmations, or, crystals and gemstones that would be beneficial to work with. It shows the energy of your aura and your chakras. And there's actually a ton of different pieces that I can look at. That's just a small window. But one of the most interesting and specific and significant things that I like to work with the biofeedback is reactions to emotions. I really find that it's a foundational piece in the energy work that I do. And I've seen many clients, shift their entire emotional awareness alone just with the biofeedback information. It's quite powerful. So what the device does, it brings forward almost an overwhelming amount of information to work with, and it's looking at stress response in the body. So either my client will prioritize what they would like looked at, or I will just follow the priority shown in the energy, one or the other. But I can kind of hone in on different areas of the body and work a little differently. So I usually as you mentioned, I usually pair biofeedback with other energy modalities as well, but the biofeedback alone works with very specific protocols. I can work on one specific area at a time or an umbrella of things. It's quite open, really, to how I use it. Let's just say that if I were to hone in on one particular area, let's say the energy of the liver. So I would go and work in the organ panel and find a specific energy to work with for the liver, and I would send it energy. So it's not just reading the energy and showing me where stress lies in the body, but then I can also send energy back to that liver. It's kind of like a poke or a nudge to the liver energetically to let it know, oh, you should be resonating a little higher. It's showing your stress, so you should actually be up here, and you're kind of down here. So I will train that way, energetically train with the organ itself, and it'll show me rectification values. Did the liver accept the energy? Yes, if it goes up in rectification, and not so much if it doesn't go up, if it goes down, or if it stays where it is. And that's kind of the whole premise of working with the energy. I am shown where stress is, and then I work with that stress. Is there a resolution or not? If there's not, I'll move outwards and do things that are supporting maybe the liver. Maybe the liver's not ready to be worked with yet. So, it's energy, so it's got its own brain, essentially, and it directs.
So Rachel, how does one physically, if somebody comes to your office and you want to use the biofeedback, is there something where a client would put his or her hands on, feet? How do you basically connect the machine to the person?
So I have a table set up in my clinic room, and clients will lay down on that and relax. So they'll be on top of a PEMF mat as well. There's blankets there, pillows, etc. They can get nice and cozy. And the whole idea is to zone out if they can and just completely, utterly relax. They are attached to the machine. This is my machine here, actually. There is a, this goes around your forehead, and it's got electrodes in it. And then also these go around the wrists and the ankles. And then you're, you're completely wired in. And so the energy is sent through wrists, ankles, and forehead.
So how does the machine actually read my or a client's energy through those bands, that wrist, ankles, and the forehead? What is the, please talk to me as if, because I have no idea. I'm just curious if somebody said, well, what does it do? How does it work?
Yes. Yeah, so essentially at the beginning of the biofeedback, I run an initial test. And so what it's going to do is send over 11,000 frequency representations through these harnesses to the body 3 times. So it does it 3 times for accuracy. So it's going to
is that an electromagnetic field that is being created, or it's just like a micro pulses of electricity, energy?
Yeah, it's a subtle frequency wave. So it's not it's not electromagnetic at all. It's I don't know the actual term for it. It is just a subtle frequency that runs through. So let's say for example, it sends across a representation of a healthy liver, a frequency of healthy liver. Your body will respond to that because your body is energy. It responds energetically to everything. It'll send that response back to my software. And so it'll send it 3 times for accuracy and say the number, it'll give me a number back. So liver will show, and it'll give me a value from 0 to up to over 300. I'm sure I haven't seen many at 300, but anything over 100 would tell me there's a stress response going on. Your body responded in a stressful way to that frequency. And anything under 50 will show me that's a chronic stress response. So something that's been going on for quite a while, and your body's reaction is a little sluggish to it. And then from that, I start painting a picture of what to work on, where there's stress, and where the priority would be.
Mhm. So it sounds like it's a plethora of information that you're getting, and you're just picking and choosing what you want to focus on. And I'm just going to stop for a minute and say hello because more people are joining. So Carmi, good afternoon. Jackie says hi, Rachel. Pam says hello. Hi, everybody. And please remember that you can win a mini biofeedback aura / chakra alignment. Balance. It's a balance.
Alignment, same.
Yes, with Rachel. So please do post your questions, comments, and you will qualify, and the draw will be tomorrow. So anything you want to know about Rachel, she's the specialist and the expert in the field of biofeedback and energy work. So Rachel, it seems that it's an extremely beneficial platform to diagnose a lot of physical concerns. But you also mentioned that it works very well for emotions, for balancing the energetic self. How so?
Yes. First, I would like to say I don't diagnose.
Yes.
So I don't use that term.
Yes.
But
thank you for the correction.
I'm not a doctor. But yes, energetically, I do find I focus a lot here. I mean, we are essentially 99.9 to the 6% energy at our core foundation of our being. And emotions are a form of energy. So I find that that's usually the bedrock of where things stem from. So I will always, always look at the energetic values of the emotional state of everyone that I work with. Really that it can be held in so many different areas of the body. You can have your overall emotional state that'll show, but then there's also emotions stored in the spine, the spinal energy. And that's our canal of life. So when there's stagnation in there caused by an emotion, that's something that does need to have awareness brought to it. There's emotions held in the organs, in our tissue. Why can't my neck muscles release? You try massage, you've tried everything. Well, there's emotional energy that can be stuck in all of these things. And so I like to look for cross entanglements in everything, especially if it's something that someone's been dealing with for a long time and they can't figure out what is going on. So I'll take the frequency from whatever particular neck muscle or their spine or whatever it is, and I'll cross-reference what emotions are being held in there. So it'll give me high-level emotions, but it'll also give me very specific emotional frequency representations. For example,
that was one question I was going to ask, so I'm sorry to interrupt you. So
no.
Does the device actually tell you that, it detects high levels of anger or, fear or sadness? Does it label particular emotions?
Yes, wow. Yes. I have a full panel of those types of emotions, and I see anger a lot, and fear and worry. And that'll show me, those reactions will be over 100. Or a lot of times I'll see worry under 50 because worry is just ongoing and the fear seems to be more, it's different for everyone. But yes, I do see that. But then it also goes even deeper with life affirmations and also with things like flower essences that give me a lot of information that are more personal. I had a client the other week, and her reactivity was showing me that she needed support for not wanting to be here anymore, not wanting to be on this physical plane. And it was quite significant. And it was very specific. And so when I spoke about that to her and voiced that, this is what your energy is showing, it was this confirmation for herself. I think about that almost every day, but I never think that it's affecting myself. The energy of the world is really tough right now. So that kind of goes through the mind, but not realizing the impact it has on her system as a whole. So even just the awareness alone is incredible to have, but then we can work with training and kind of unblocking that area energetically, opening up the energy field, and then seeing, okay, where's that being held? Is it being held in your stomach? Is it being held in your neck or whatever? And then helping to try to release it.
So once you find out the source of the problem or the location of that stored energy, do you work on this with the machine, with the device, or how do you approach it? How do you improve the situation that you have just discovered exists?
Yeah, it's different depending on the person, but always there will be a biofeedback portion that's working. In my sessions, I'll always be at the biofeedback, and I may set something to run, and then I'll do some additional energy work as well. I'll do some Reiki, some color therapy, some really specific PEMF, and it's all to try and shift and help kind of move the energy in the way it needs to be moved, or support the energy. Maybe there's a vulnerability and the energy's stuck because of that. So yeah, always the biofeedback will be running, and then there'll just be these additional methods on top to help. And then the biofeedback helps me see when things have shifted, as well as the client. The client will have a release of some sort. Sometimes there'll be one tear or a big emotional release or something, and I'll know, okay, energy's moving. But also the biofeedback will tell me with rectification values.
So it gives you a basically live feed as to what is happening and what result your modality, whether you're using Reiki, as you said, or the color therapy, what effect it has on the body, which is quite amazing in itself.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. I love it.
Well, there are a couple of questions. So if you're okay, if we can do this, and I'm going to try and show the question. Okay. Yay, it worked. So Jackie says, if a person was interested in learning this, what is the best way to find information? Thank you, Jackie. So I assume by this, she means the biofeedback approach and work.
Yes. So quantum biofeedback, I do have some information on my own website, which is lethealthflow.ca. I've also been starting to put together some videos as well on YouTube for the way I work with it specifically. You can look up the machine, the device itself. It's called a SCIO, SCIO, quantum biofeedback. And you can look at the company there, but there's not, it's more for, practitioners. So I would say really the information that I'm trying to put out is going to help more educationally with understanding what it's all about. So I have videos and website and my Facebook page.
Yes, and we're going to remind everybody at the end what are the ways to contact Rachel, and they will be both put in comments as well. So thank you, Jackie, for the comment. And Carmi asks, does this recognize physical symptoms or just on emotional level? That was Carmi's question.
It recognizes everything. So any possible physical piece of yourself you can imagine, it will read that. It'll give me a stress reactivity to it, as well as the emotional components. So vitamins, minerals, hormones, organs, anything you can think of in yourself, I can look at the energetic response to it, as well as emotions. And then it goes outwards, even it goes out further into, the aura and even dimensionally. So it goes very quantum, which is why the quantum machine. It's really cool.
Wow, awesome.
Very holistic that way, right? So we're looking at ourselves as a whole picture, not just one piece or another.
Yes. Thank you. One more comment, I think that is from Linda, who says, I had biofeedback from a brain injury from an accident, and it showed so much in the brain. So I assume, Linda, that it was a successful approach and it did help you. So thank you for the comment. Now, something that you said, Rachel, that piqued my interest. So you said that it goes from the physical deficiencies to emotions and even extends to aura and chakra. So when you use feedback to see the state or the shape of the chakra and the aura, how does that work? What information do you get?
I usually start at that level for myself because those to me are the functioning hubs. And then I'll go into other things. But so what I'll see is how open or closed are the chakras? Are they aligned? Are they misaligned? Kind of where are they sitting? And then I can do a lot of digging into the chakras themselves to look for cross entanglements, what's being held in there, what's blocking it, what's causing it stress. So I can do a lot of kind of investigative work into the chakras themselves, or what would be the best remedy or the best gemstone or whatever to help assist in raising the vibrational frequency there. And as for the aura itself, I love working with the aura. It shows so much. It'll show emotional snags being held in it. What is causing the most kind of riff in the aura at that particular moment in time. It'll give me some emotions in there. It'll show me colors of the aura. It'll show if there's hovering things. So like sometimes I'll see over here a hovering red blob. And to me, I interpret that as there's some anger on the outer edge. So it's all interpretive and intuitive in terms of working with the aura itself, aside from the emotions, which they tell me, the device tells me. But color-wise, I can work with things. I'll see color here. Okay, well, I want to work with the anger now. So I'll go work with the anger, come back and check the aura. It'll shift. And so I can work with it almost as the base hub of the session. What's the aura telling me now?
So you are, in terms of the aura and the chakra reading and the biofeedback, you're just a little bit like a psychic using tarot. So the cards just give you the basis, and then you take it from there, interpret, and just do whatever needs to be done with it. It's maybe a poor comparison, but it's the one that came to my mind. So
yeah,
you just take the information and fly from there, so to speak.
Makes sense. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, except it's giving me a ton of information.
It looks like it, that you have to be like a translator of all the data that you do receive. It seems so enormous. Amy says hello. So hi, Amy. Amy's joining. Jackie says that she finds that very interesting. Yes, I know, Jackie. So do I. And I have many more questions, and we still have time. So Rachel, you mentioned that you can see that in terms of reading emotions from recent clients, you said that you saw a lot of fear and a lot of anger. Can you give me, of course, without giving any personal details, an image of how did that change over the last year since we entered the year of the shadow of the pandemic, the heaviness of the world? How does that change comparing to what you saw in people before?
It's quite dramatic, actually. I see a few things. So I see consistent fear, anxiety, and worry in everybody. Animals as well, because they're just really soaking our energy. But I also see a big difference in the chakras themselves. That's kind of off the emotional question, but the chakras are all very closed. It's like as soon as someone steps outside of their door, they're shutting down just for protective reasons. So if I'll work on them remote, because there was a time when I was working in person. If I work on them remote, the chakras are usually a little more open, but as soon as they step out and come in person, everything's kind of closing up. But yes, emotionally, there's a lot of shadow coming out for sure, that most people are aware of it. But I do look for those entanglements to find, okay, how can we kind of snake back to helping to release this? Because it's the challenge of a lifetime, really, right now, what we're experiencing. So.
Well, of course, and it's a kind of work that you start, but it never finishes. It just gets better or worse, just like working ourselves. We're here on earth and we came here with a purpose. We're not perfect. There's so many things to work on. Then once we think we fix something, then something else comes up, or the spiral goes up, and what we think was fixed and healed still comes up. So the healing and learning journey never ends. I like how you said that you look at the entanglements of the emotions and the shadow. So, Rachel, what do you do with them? Again, if somebody comes and you see how their chakras are closed and how there's a lot of fear, anxiety, worry, and you do all your magic, and excuse me for using that word because there's a lot of science to what you do, but I say it in the best way, in the best meaning of this word. So after you do this, what do you advise people to do to continue to do on their own? How else heal?
Yes, I actually provide my clients with a summary afterwards. Here's kind of what I saw. We'll talk about it a bit as well, but I'll put it on paper for them. And then there's this whole section where I say, here's the stuff that you can kind of do to help keep yourself, because it's not just about the biofeedback, it's about learning how to heal yourself. And so I offer a lot of suggestions in there. I work with energetic essences that you can ingest that are charged on the biofeedback. There's a plate here, and it can create an energetic representation of homeopathics. You can charge almost anything on it and use that as vibrational resonance frequency uplifting. I give breathing exercises, meditation if they're into meditation. I work with qigong, like a lot of different energetic techniques that are specific to what I'm seeing. Also some meridian tracing. So if I'll see what was the worst blocked meridian that was showing for you, that's heavily impacting, say, your heart energy and your emotional center, then I'll give some of those exercises to do. And so, yeah, there's a lot of actually different self-care items that I work with.
So you use a very holistic and it seems very balanced approach.
Yes.
And that is wonderful because everybody's different and everybody's needs are different. Yeah. So you also mentioned that you can check if, for example, somebody is taking some supplements and they're not sure that they're really compatible or they're making a difference. This is something that you can check as well?
Yep. Yeah. So you can buy the best of the best, but it might not resonate with your energy. Mm-hmm. So I've had a lot of clients bring that in, we put it on the test plate, and we just check to see if there is a good emotional compatibility, emotional resonance with it. And that saves people a lot of money. Sometimes they'll bring it unopened, right? And I'll just put it on there. And if it doesn't resonate, they'll return it. So
yes, or exchange for something that is better. That's a great approach. May I also add that you work with your husband as well in the clinic, so he adds another modality to the healing. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, we work together here. My husband is a registered massage therapist. He's incredible. I know I'm a little biased because I'm married to him.
Well, you married him for a reason, so yeah. We all trust you.
We actually met in massage school. I'm a massage therapist as well. I'm just not practicing one. But he's very good. He uses a lot of modalities as well. He uses hot towels. We got a lot of fun stuff in our clinic room. He uses neurostim, which is like an electric acupuncture. He uses the PEMF. I even got him using energetic things too. He uses the crystal bowl, and so he's excellent. He specializes in the neck energy, not just the energy. That's me talking. But in the neck muscles, he's really good that way.
Sounds wonderful for many, many of us. Amy is asking, when you use the biofeedback to help someone, how long does it last within their system?
Mm-hmm. Usually up to 3 days. So right after the session is usually kind of not the lowest, but it can be like the lowest, and then it'll start raising over the next 3 days. It's similar to any energy work, actually. I know acupuncture is the same. It'll just increase in value over the next few days, but usually 3 days. But I do have some clients that they feel so, what's the right word? A lot of value from the sessions. And they will work to expand how long in between before they need that kind of pump up. And some of them 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they're back saying, okay, I need more of a pump up. So for some people, it lasts longer, but I say about 3 days. initially anyways.
Okay.
If you're doing self-care, it's going to last longer.
Of course, if you do your homework and if you do your part. You mentioned also that you worked or started working with animals. Can you tell us about that? That sounds very interesting.
I love working with animals. I love animals. It's so interesting to see the animal energy. And specifically, I know I've had people come to me with physical ailments, but I'm always so intrigued at the emotional piece of the animals and what they're experiencing. So they're so receptive to this work. So I work with them the same way as I would with a human on biofeedback. I can also work with them physically with color. Like I've had some amazing responses with color therapy on animals as well. Like they don't question it. If there's no logic involved, they just feel it and it's very natural to them. So it's wonderful working with them.
Do you also put them on the table and do you put the bands around them as well? How do you hook them up?
Oh, good question. Yes. So I have remote hookups as well. So because this is quantum based, it is an energy form working in the quantum field. Hookup is not required. In fact, some of my clients feel like remote sessions are even more intense. I think it depends on the person. But I think maybe because they're actively focused more, maybe when it's remote. But for animals, I would do that. It would be a remote hookup. So I would require their full name, their birth date, and their birth location to kind of do that quantum hookup, and then a recent picture for a good.
So what kind of information would you get about an animal when you do the biofeedback session on it? Let's say if I ask you to, connect with my cat, what kind of information would you receive?
So there are animal-specific panels in the software. So I can go for a cat, I would go under the feline tab, and it actually is all very specific to feline. It'll show me a lot of ailments, like feline leukemia and all of that stuff. I think I've got a horse, a cow, a bird. There's even a panel for bees, just to work with the energy of bees. Cat.
Yes.
It's really cool. So so I would work in that particular panel, but then also I would work emotionally in the same way that I would with humans.
So some behavior changes, would that something that you would be looking at? Let's say if a cat I was just telling you my story, for example, how I have rescued hibiscus. So I have a beautiful hibiscus plant that has winterized in my living room, and it is big and heavy. And recently, and I can't put it outside because it's still too cold, it's 2 degrees at night. So recently one of my cats, not recently actually, the last few months, decided that she is going to regularly fertilize it. Let's just keep it this way. And there's just no way in persuading her and doing anything else. Is that something that you might be able to look at, or it's too of a behavior issue?
Yeah, they can always look at the energy of that. I'm curious as to how that would actually present on the biofeedback, because I don't think there's anything in the feline panel that would work with that, but in the main matrix,
there's no peeing in the hibiscus.
Maybe there is.
No, but maybe you should put one.
I would probably work and translate it from the main matrix of like the human frequencies to look for, energetic responses to emotional patterns that would fall in line with that.
So how long would a session with an animal take?
30 minutes, usually, sometimes up to an hour. It depends how well they can rest during it. My cats themselves, they love it. So I can do definitely an hour on them and they just soak it in. But it depends on what's going on.
So when you connect remotely with an animal and you get the feedback and you find out, let's say there is a kidney issue and the dog is very anxious, etc. So you can start feeding it back towards the dog, and how does that work? How can you remedy that on your side working remotely?
The same way. So it would be done the same way. So I would work with the emotional reactivities of fear and anxiety and worry and anything that's stressing out the adrenals and the kidney that way. Probably brainwave training as well. It all would happen through that quantum field. So essentially in all the same way that I would be working with you as a human.
Wow, how fascinating. So a human session would be also half an hour to 1 hour approximately?
It is always an hour for human.
Oh, an hour. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And you are doing, at the present time, you're doing remote sessions for humans and animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've also worked, interestingly, on geographic locations. So homes. Oh. Yeah. I did it on my own home as well. We were having some negative energy coming in from our forest behind us is being built up with construction a little further away. And so there was this negative energy coming in. So I work with the geographic location of it, clear out things that I'm seeing in here, and then also charge up some vials with whatever the frequency is required and bury them along the property line.
Oh, how interesting. So when you focus the biofeedback reading on that particular location, what information came back to you?
I'm looking mainly at emotional things when I'm doing geographical locations. So that is really the core of what I'm looking at. I mean, I could look at minerals and stuff, you know, that would be in the area, but for me, that's not as relevant. I know there's some people that work with farms and they're looking for, you know, the mineral contents in the area. I haven't done that myself. It's more of like an emotional, or I'll send remedies for affirmations, anything to raise the vibrational frequency in the area. Maybe because maybe an oppression may come up. This machine also shows, is there a spiritual oppression kind of hanging over you? Sometimes they can be very strong with what's called a brain engram attached, which is can almost manipulate your mind in a way. So I would definitely clear attachments like that as well.
So are we talking ghosts, entities here, if I may put a label like this?
Could be, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Any type of spiritual attachment that can come in to place. Yeah.
So you basically can work with the energy of a piece of land, of a location, whether it would be a living energy of some kind of a being or residual emotional energy for what has happened before, from people who lived there, from activities who took part. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes, yes, you are. Whatever the energy is that is there, I can work with it.
Okay, so basically what I'm thinking, I had a friend who lived in her ancestral home and she did a lot of renovations, but she still was complaining how heavy the energy was, even after smudging and cleansing and doing all the crystals. So that's something that you could at least give her more information about. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So I have learned a lot, not only people, not only animals, not only crystals, not only supplements, but you can even read the land and the energies of the land. Right. And that is awesome. That is mind-boggling. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, wonderful. So any more questions? Because we still have a few minutes. So for our lovely audience, please do remember that if you post questions and or comments, there is a mini remote energetic aura chakra session, balancing session with Amy to be won, and I am going to prepare the draw and choose a winner tomorrow. And I have a wow and a wow for everything that you have just said, Rachel. Anything that we have not touched upon, anything that you feel that you should share with the audience, anything in particular that I have not asked you yet, because this is such a yes.
There's so much more to the machine. It's just kind of touching the surface with what we've discussed. I mean, it can go so quantum that I wouldn't want to lose anybody speaking about it, like whoa kind of thing. But we can go into past life work. I can go into timeline work. Where was their stress showing throughout your entire life? Oh, gestational week 25. Okay, so we're going to work to clear that from the past. We can send messaging to our past self or future self through the quantum field. There's some really cool panels that I can work with that are really fascinating to me. So it does go outside of the typical in terms of what we've discussed as well.
Yes, and just when you were talking about it, Amy said, tell Rachel to talk about past lives from biofeedback. And she goes, she already did. You ladies read each other's mind. Bonnie says, wow, it's right, extremely interesting. Question from Whitney, do you train practitioners? If not, where did you train?
I do not train practitioners. I trained with the Quantum Academy. I think there's 2 places you can get trained and certified in, and right now they're all virtual, but the Quantum Academy is where I went.
Okay, thank you. And Jackie is asking, you will post Rachel's info? Yes, I will. So at the end in the comments, Rachel, can you remind everybody one more time, what is the name of your company or your Facebook page? You're on Instagram as well?
Yes, it's Let Health Flow. I am on Facebook. My Instagram is currently down. I'm working on trying to get that back up. Or lethealthflow.ca. I've got a website as well.
Okay, thank you. And we will post it. And just about Instagram, I have so many friends, especially who have public pages for, art and other business that have been taken down for no reason. And it says that there is some kind of a glitch in their software that some pages all of a sudden, are taken down for no reason. So many people are complaining. So please be patient. I hope that your Instagram page will be up and running. Yes, it is a hassle, especially if you created all of this and it's gone. Whitney says thank you. Jackie says thank you as well. Still a few minutes, and I have more questions because my brain is just like on fire here. Can you use this on yourself, Rachel? Have you used this on yourself?
Yes.
So you can do it on your own body and on your own energy.
Yes. Now I can't, obviously I'm in both seats at that time, and that's what I do, but you can't get the full relaxation, but the awareness is huge because I see everything. I don't tell my clients everything that I see, right? Because some things I don't feel need to be shared. I'll work on them, but maybe they don't need sharing. So for me, I see it all. So it's a little different, but I find it absolutely beneficial for myself.
Great. You also mentioned when we were talking before that you can also focus on brain waves and training your brain. Am I understanding correctly? If I want to meditate, if I want to enter certain states, you can help me with that and see?
Yes, I can work with the brain waves. They're also one of my, everything's my favorite to work with, but the brain waves.
Good answer.
Yeah. In particularly because there's a lot of emotional patterning layers that can be sitting on top of your brain waves that need to be removed. And they hold such strong things: fear, anxiety, worry, guilt, shame. Once we can release that, I've had clients that I've gone through 12 layers of emotional patterns and still can't remove them. So that's all sitting on top of your brain waves. So once we can remove those emotional patterns, then we can work on the actual brainwaves themselves, bring people down out of high beta, get them more into alpha and theta, and then they're in a better position to be able to meditate. Because if you're high beta and you don't know how to come out of it, you're probably one of those people that can't meditate or tries, but has a hard time doing it.
So it seems that the shadow emotions are so strong in some people that they leave imprints on their brain activity. And the imprints are so deep and so strong that it impedes your thinking process or ability to relax. and
100%.
basically, yeah, negatively
Not only that, right? Like your brain is your hub. So it is instructing the rest of your body. So when you've got these emotional layers and whatever you're perceiving around you and emotionally feeling, your brain, well, your heart is responding to that. And it's telling the brain, oh, something's not right. And your brain's going to respond to the rest of the body. Things aren't right. We need to amp up the stress hormones. We need to amp this up. And your whole body is set out of rhythm just based on brain waves alone. It will respond based on your brain waves. So it's a very powerful thing to become in control of as much as you can.
That's a beautiful thing to discover, to be able to learn, and also peel all those layers to basically get to who you are and not being blocked by things that you have maybe absorbed or learned, or they're just coming at you. Just to peel them off and to separate them would be just an incredible ability, an incredible skill. Whitney says, starting with the brain seems like a good strategy. And yes, absolutely, because we are, it's a wonderful asset. And I don't like to talk negatively about the brain too much, because, you know, in the so-called spiritual community, many people say, you know, you have to shut down your brain. The brain does not help you, you know, it works too much. It influences you negatively. It's a wonderful asset. We have it for a reason, as long as you use it, as long as it's healthy, balanced, and you use it well. If it does not take over your life, if you balance it with, you know, your heart, your intuition, if everything is in check, it's a wonderful asset. So thank you for reminding us about that, both Whitney and Rachel. Okay, I think if there's no more questions, I think we are slowly going to get to the end of our session. And before I thank Rachel, I would like to, as I always do, talk about the next session at the end of this one. Now, the next session in about 2 to 3 weeks will be a little different. This time I will not have a guest because this will be a public launch of my Shadow Samskara guided journal / workbook. I have spent several months working on it, and it's in addition to Shadow Samskara cards, because many people asked. Shadow Samskara cards have a lot of questions, a lot of reflections, and people were asking, well, can we have a book where we can actually have space to write down answers to those questions, to ponder, you know, to reflect. So I did say yes, and I have spent much time, and right now it is in the printing stages, and hopefully it's going to be ready for the end of the month. So we are going to go back to basics, and my first my first shadow session was with my wonderful friend from Florida, Sandra Stella, who chatted with me and started this whole series, and she will do it again, and we will be talking about the Shadow Samskara guided journal, and of course there will be a copy for grabs to those of you who are going to participate live, just like today for Rachel. So please stay tuned. I will be posting the date a little later. I'm not sure when the printing is going to be done, but it will be for sure at the end of month of May. So I invite all of you. And now, Rachel, thank you for such a wonderful session. You were such a great source of information, and you did it in such a clear and such a eloquent way and easy to understand. Thank you for sharing all of that with us. And again, if you want to contact Rachel, if you want to ask her about her remote sessions, about anything that she said, or if you want to book a session with her, please follow the instructions again. It's Let Health Flow, or The Health Flow?
That Health Flow.
Let the Health Flow on Facebook. And again, we will be posting everything in comments just at the end of the session. So you will be welcome to contact Rachel. So Rachel, big thanks. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Thank you for being such a great guest. And to all of you, thank you for participating. Stay safe, stay in the light. Until the next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.